When Mrs. Spencer starts to clean my space, I need to leave. I don't know why. Not that it's like incredibly dirty, but she likes those fine details that I sometimes ignore. Well, today I have to open this thing up, get it down, and basically recover from last weekend's tile job. And so I have some stuff in there that needs to get kind of reorganized, put away, because it was end of job. Let's just kind of stack it in there, stuff that doesn't normally go in the trailer. And I also have to then go into my shed and organize my tile materials, because that's where they live. They do not obviously live in this trailer. If I had like a 16-foot trailer or larger, I would assume that almost all of my tools, including the tile tools, would live with me all the time and ride with me, even though, again, not every job is a tile job. But with a 10-foot and with my eventual 12-foot trailer that I want to buy, it will not be large enough to support taking everything with me. So those occasional tools, like the tile tools, they just obviously will never ride with me all the time. They will just simply be, hey, I'm tiling this weekend, or I'm tiling tomorrow. Let's go ahead and load it either in here or in my truck, and then just make that magic happen on the job site. So today is about what I would call from the military recovery. When you bring all of your equipment back in, then you recover it, make sure it's clean, functional, where it's supposed to be, and it's ready to go next time you see action. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm recovering and ready to go for that next action tile job. All right, here we go. So last weekend, right at the tail end, it was a Monday, over to the job site, wrapping up the tile thing. When I came back, I was under a very big rush because I then had to kind of drop everything, make sure my truck was ready to go as far as empty bed, and I had to grab two very, very long boxes that were bed part, and I needed to take them 50 minutes to an hour away, drop them, get them all situated, and then get back for a meeting. So it was pretty rushed. Therefore, it was back in, drop the trailer wherever I could get it kind of wedged in here without really worrying about good placement. Get all of my tile stuff offloaded that needed to be outloaded from my bed of my truck, and then just kind of scoot on down. One of the first things I wanted to do once I got opened up here is I wanted to get this cleaned off. This is the tray for my tile saw, and it still had debris in it. It had been kind of cleaned, but not perfectly cleaned. So I simply brought it home, left it outside, had some water in it. I don't know if that helped or not, but today it actually cleaned off very, very well. Tile saw sits in there. I'll be able to sister these things back up again, which is how I store it. Then I'll be able to place it where it lives. And I actually set all of this on a set of kind of like a furniture dolly, so I can roll it underneath some shelves in there, and I can roll it out when I need to. Also, I do the same thing with my tile tools. I'll show you that once I get everything ready to slide in. Quick glimpse inside of my tile box for all of my tile tools. With the exception of masonry, like if I'm going to be doing like a concrete pad, that's treated differently than this one. This is exclusively for like interior tile. Variety of sponges. I have various size spacers. I have way too many, of course, but I have lots and lots of spacers. Down in there, I've got my tile stone, tile shims. I have mesh tape for the joints on concrete board. A couple of drill bits for going through tile. It's one of those manual tile cutters. This is a tool kit for tile for drilling various size holes, either with a drill, but most likely a grinder, and those two attachments there are actually for a grinder. And certainly down underneath, you can see I have a couple of floats. I have a variety of different size trowels, like that 1/16 V-notch trowel. Then I have a lot of square notch trowels. And I actually have a scoop so I can get the thin set out of a bucket much easier than if I tried to use the flat side of a trowel. Effectively, that's what's in there, and that goes with me on every job that I do tile, and it seems to have always fulfilled my needs for tools and spacers and everything else, because I haven't added to this kit in a long time, with the exception of this particular kit, because I do have a couple of hole saws in my trailer that are meant for tile. I decided at some point to plus my strays up with an actual kit, so I just had that flexibility of whatever size hole I wanted to drill. I had the ability to do that. This sits on top of everything upside down, and this is basically just when I'm installing floor tile, the ability to push floor tile down so I get a level fit, doing it manually as opposed to using leveling spacers. So before I put the lid on, that's what it's going to look like, the lid will fit on it, and then it will sit on that rolling furniture dolly, and then it goes into that space right there, along with my tile saw, which is also on a furniture dolly. So right underneath there, well out of the way, because I only use them on occasion, obviously. Tile tools way behind, again on that furniture mover, and then this tile saw right there. And because I'm bearing my entire soul, I'll just give you a quick spin around and show you the mess. Organized, but mess nonetheless. This has got to be thinned out. I know this. So various parts of my smart bench, various parts of my smart station. You see the long wings right there. You see the short wings. That's just one of the kind of table toppers, if you will. It's the transforming top that just makes the top a little bit bigger. This is the spreader shelf for the Smart Station. I don't actually carry that with me typically. Behind all of this, I have just a little bit of extra plywood. Right there, both of these are actually the router tables that I have made. That's a tool I just haven't put away yet. It's a pocket hole jig from Craig, one of those with the squeeze gun clamp. Pretty interesting. Templates, all the various fall off from the ultralight. I paid so much for that ultralight, it's like 160 bucks a sheet, and I went and picked it up in Salt Lake City because I was passing through. I would not have made a trip to Salt Lake City for it. And because it is like the ring for Gollum in the Lord of the Rings, this stuff is precious, right? That I don't want to necessarily throw the fall off away until I know that I can't use it, simply because I paid so much for it, not because it's golden plywood. It's lightweight for larger construction, for anything small like a jig or whatever. You know, the weight is not the issue. But I don't want to throw it away needlessly until I know that I've got a piece of fall off small enough to where it's just not, it's pointless. So I'm left with this great big stack of stuff that does actually intrude into the room, and of course everything else. All of this down here is electrical overflow for larger jobs, to include, of course, the wire down there. This stuff just came out of my trailer a couple of weeks ago when I thinned it down. These are crown installation jigs. Electrical overflow, those are my boxes all the way out there. Down here is all my low voltage material, so that's all just kind of separated there. Extra tools from my dad's tool case. You know, I'm not going to get rid of those, but I don't really use them. To me, this is a brand new table saw. It is the model 7491, and this one has the 10-inch blade and the long enough arbor to support a dado stack, which is what I was very curious about, in the fact I wanted a table saw that would run a dado stack like my original one from several years ago that had a switch that went bad or electronics that went bad. Gave it away pretty much, and then I bought the 748 on the fly because I was in the middle of a job, and not knowing the 748 model would not support a dado stack. How often do I use a dado stack, you may say? Very good question. I don't use a dado stack very often at all. Matter of fact, I use a dado stack most often when I was creating that trailer out there, and that's been 6 years. So, is it really a necessity? And the answer is no, and I've used my other 748 table saw for a long time now, and I have not had any issues with it. However, I know that I am within a couple of years of a brand new trailer, and that means I'm going to be doing dados again, and I want to have the ability to have that dado stack option on my table saw. So the 749, I picked it up for $350. I had to go and get it. It was about 45 minutes away from me, local pickup on eBay. It came with a lot of extra parts down there. I think it's for a stand that comes with it. I'm not going to be using the stand. I will be building a cradle for this, so it can be supported and in use with my benches. But at some point, I have to do that. What did Ron Paul call it? The Swedish death clean out or something like that. Swedish death prep. Basically, the idea is the closer you get to your expiration date, whenever that is, and the longer you live, you know, the closer it's getting. And with that, how much of a mess do you want to leave someone who comes after you, whether it's a spouse or a child or another family member that has to come in and kind of clean out your mess because you're not there to do it? Or it would be like the goal of the year of retirement is to, how can I decompress a lot of this and get rid of most of it, whether it's throw away or give away or sell, and really get down to brass tacks, really get down to the basics of what I need and that I do not need anything extra. Am I doing large jobs? Do I have to carry a lot of overflow, plumbing, electrical, things like that? Do I need all of these scraps of wire down here? That kind of stuff. Right now, it's in flux. I could use any and all of that stuff on any job that comes up, so it just occupies space. Okay, well, onwards to the trailer because I got to pull some stuff out of the trailer now that I have my tile stuff all put away and some semblance of organization in here. Trust me, this is some semblance of organization, even though it may look like an explosion. Once I'm organized and I have tools in hand, I need to go hang a mirror.